The EU as explained to citizens. Meanwhile, the actual EU seems a bit more complicated than what the schematics said. Looked a whole lot smoother from the drawing up here, but I'm pretty sure running anything as big as the EU is never going to be super simple like that. That one Dutch commando looking at a newly flooded river. I can polder you. Okay, it's a little bit too soon. Can you chill, Netherlands? Yeah, something happened to this dam right here, and obviously the Dutch have a special ability when it comes to defeating the water. They're always just itching to do this again. This is the saddest place in all of Egypt. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what German anon is getting at here. What is sad about it? Looks nice and sandy. It's a depression. Oh my goodness. Have we just found peak German comedy? And they said it didn't exist. This just reminded me of another 4chan post of like someone getting really mad at German jokes. This is the pinnacle of German humor and it's pathetic. I can imagine him snorting to himself as he typed this as if it was an absolute spirit bomb of a comment. And of course, this was written by someone from France. Average American cycling road fan versus average Dutch cycling road enjoyer. Never try to compete with the Dutch. They are the most giga-chad of all cycling enjoyers. I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, Drew, the US is like 20 times bigger than the Netherlands. Okay, but you can literally go anywhere in the country. There is pretty much nothing stopping you at this point. Okay, wait, actually I didn't think about that. The entire country of Brazil explained by video games. Of course, we have Donkey Kong Country in the Amazon rainforest. There's also this like Google Chrome dinosaur running game. There's definitely some T-Rexes somewhere in there. We have the northeast of Brazil, which is basically Red Dead Redemption 2 or Postal 2. More inland, but south of the Amazon, we have Stardew Valley. That looks pretty much exactly like Brazil. We have Half-Life 3. What doesn't exist? Transformis with cheese? Oh wait, yeah, I can see that. There's also Adventure Capitalist and Wolfenstein New Order. Okay, what goes on here? I don't know if I want to know. And finally, my step, okay, alright. I feel like that also could be describing Uruguay there. Well, thank you. I've learned a lot. Me increasing my carbon footprint so that Singaporeans couldn't enjoy fresh air. Okay, wait, is this the average Malaysian here? I guess it could be... No, it's definitely Malaysian. I don't even know why I was going to ask something as dumb as that. First, you kick them out of your own country, and now you're trying to give them worse air quality? Where does it end? Percentage of excessive drinking by county in the US. And just look at how Giga Chad Cheeseland has become. Actually, if you've seen binge drinking maps of just the counties in the US, literally the entire state of Wisconsin is filled up, and there's only like a couple other dots around from the other states. Yeah, the 50 drunkest counties. They take this very seriously, I guess, in Wisconsin. But wait a second, there's another Giga Chad we're leaving off the list. It's the entire state of Utah. That is completely white. Almost all of the counties in Utah are under 15%. I guess that's how the Mormons roll. That is quite literally how they roll. US to give away free lighthouses as GPS makes them unnecessary. Me and the fellas when we get our free lighthouse. Yo, me and the boys are about to have a blast. Where do I apply? I need a lighthouse now. Me and my homie after 3 hours on the rock. I love that movie. Smile, Poland, says NATO. Russia is losing. I am smiling, responds the Polish. Yeah, come on, NATO. He's clearly having a blast. You don't know anything about Polish smiling, I guess. It's the best moment for Poland in the last 50 years. The only thing that could make this better for Poland is if they were involved themselves, I think. Yo, guys, it's happening. China is collapsing. It's about time. Oh, wait a second. Maybe it's happening. It's just a long decline. It's like the Ottoman collapse. It's gonna take a couple centuries, but it's happening. It started. CCCP has fallen, and I really gotta start trying to make some better thumbnails like this. 17-year-old lads, after they've passed their test, being dared to top 100 miles per hour by their mates. I mean, is this not a rite of passage for everyone around the world? These 17-year-old lads. Believe it or not, that was actually not me. I drove like a grandma when I was 17. Now I drive like this. That's not a joke. Western Europe, cardinal sins. We have pride for France, greed for Switzerland, wrath for the Germans, envy for the Italians, lust for the gluttony for the UK, and finally, sloth, of course, for the siesta enjoyers. That's how they do it in Spain. Perfect time to mention, I'm trying to live in Spain for like a month here soon. I just love the siesta life. Please tell me there are actually a lot of Germans that wear this shirt. France and Germany fighting over who has the worst capital. Funny enough, I've actually been to both Berlin and Paris. At least, from my opinion, it's probably Germany, but I would go back to Germany with my friends because that's a part of the fun. Berlin was wild. I think this person nails it. Yo, go, guys! We've finally figured it out. Virgin Puerto Rico versus Chad Mexican. I don't even know what to say. It did not take long for people to come up with this. Here we have a photo of the smoke that completely engulfed all of New York City. And then we have Singapore here. I guess they've been through this before. Wait a second. Wasn't this caused by Malaysia, though? Anyway, Singapore knows all about this. It doesn't look like Singapore is in Mexico, though, because I think this is just smog. A little bit of a difference there. The Marshall Space Center engineers versus the rest of Alabama. It's always the strangest combination to me. Everyone loves to forget this part. As someone born in Alabama, they just automatically assume this is me. Which, fun fact, I actually would love to go mud diving. Like, who wouldn't want to try this? Actually, I know a lot of people wouldn't want to try this, but I do. I guess that's the Alabama in me talking. Florida man steals $3,000 worth of rare coins, cashes them in a Coinstar machine for $29. Oh, sorry, that's $29.30, I might add. Florida is literally the state that just keeps on giving. They always have just the greatest stories coming out of this place. A map of the US, but the states in red are all the places that definitely do not like Canada for the same reason right now. And in blue, the states that might despise Canada right now, but for a different reason. At the end of the day, they're all really not liking Canada. And this is entirely due to those winds and the fires. I feel like New York should be purple. I'm sure they're on like a whole nother level. Future homeowners in France are now looking into straw houses. Y'all don't read classic literature. And I thought everyone was forced to read this classic literature. All it's gonna take is one big bad wolf and this thing's coming down. Yes, I'm something of a classic literature expert myself. In the UK, we have bread. In German, we have brat. In Swedish, we have broad. Meanwhile, in France, yeah. What are they trying to say with this? Perhaps those baguettes aren't quite as tasty as they want us to assume? Or maybe the pain is just them coming out. Guys, finally, we've found an accurate world map. It's not North America, it's Nepal. It's not South America, it's Nepal. It's not Africa, it's not Nepal. Why am I saying it's not Nepal? It's Nepal. It goes for every place except for Europe, I guess. It's not even Earth, it's Nepal. It's not Mars, it's Nepal. It's not even Jupiter. It's all Nepal, and it literally always has been. They don't want you to know about this. ChatGPT chief says artificial intelligence should be regulated by the US or a global agency. Here is the EU ball responding, I got you, homie. Here they are doing a little bit of work, some regulatory framework proposal on artificial intelligence. Cut to 2 seconds later, ChatGPT might quit the EU rather than comply with the regulations. What do you want? What do you want? That's gotta be what they're thinking to themselves. I love how this is always how companies react whenever it's Europe doing something. They always threaten to pull out. Man, the EU ball really looked like they wanted to help too. Guessing they wanted regulations, just not the regulations they were proposing. Ooh, the myth of consensual NATO membership. We have NATO consenting, as well as Sweden consenting, even the EU consenting. Meanwhile, Hungary, I think that's just the Hungarian flag back there. I don't. Isn't there somebody we forgot to ask? Ah, this explains everything. Sweden just can't be in NATO. Hungary is just definitely not going to allow it. Not gonna happen, no way. Russia tries not to copy WW2 Germany challenge. Impossible. They might also be trying to accidentally copy Germany's defeat, I guess. Here's Dragon Teeth in Ukraine versus Dragon Teeth in WW2. Quite literally looks like Dragon Teeth. I see where you got the idea from. I guess you can move these by hand, the ones today. Meanwhile, back in the day, they just kind of put some dirt over them and just drove over them. Interesting strategy there, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for them. I guess they're supposed to be bolted down, so you're not able to just do this. When you go to a friend's house and he says, ignore the mess. Meanwhile, the mess. This is kind of hard to ignore here, homie. This is actually kind of ridiculous. I'm worried you kind of have a problem. Maybe some sort of hoarder of medieval European kingdoms or something. I'm sorry, I just can't be friends with someone who lives like this. USA, can you give me the atomic bomb? Asks this French leader. The US, no. Okay, says Charles de Gaulle. Actually builds my own like a boss. And now cut to this incident in which the British, the Soviets, and the US were not happy. It's not really an incident, it's just them building the bomb. And blowing it up in Algeria, I might add. I mean, I guess it was in the Sahara Desert. Behold! The French nuclear program. I thought this was just a random meme. It's not. This is actually what they transported their bomb in. This is legit how they was doing it back in the day. I mean, you definitely gotta love the scrappiness of it. I'll give you that. Germany returns artifacts taken from Africa during colonial rule. Priceless artifacts taken from Cameroon, Namibia, and Tanzania during colonial times will be permanently returned, says Germany. Meanwhile, the British Museum reading these headlines. Oh yeah, we're just gonna pretend like we didn't see that. Yeah, this is getting a little awkward. Brits are about to declare war on Germany. Germany again. The myth of consensual annexation. We have Hitler and Mussolini, as well as the British and French leaders at the time, all consenting, all 4 of them. They're all consenting to this annexation, but wait, not the leader of Czechia, the persons whose land is literally about to get annexed right now. Okay, this is so different from the previous meme about the myth of consensual meme. This is when Germany annexed these Sudeten lands from Czechia. It was weird because they all just said, yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, except they didn't ask actually Czechia. Kind of a weird moment. I guess I should be saying Czechoslovakia at the time. The Asian classroom. Oh, this is gonna be good. Of course, Japan is the otaku and Singapore as the smart one. Taiwan is the nerd girl. Of course, she's got some boba, as well as South Korea is popular. You could say that again. They've got their Samsung phone even. Vietnam is the rebel that beats everyone up. Well, the weird thing is people think they could beat up Vietnam, and then they're always horrifyingly mistaken. Thailand, the popular... What? Why is girl in quotations? Ooh. Malaysia is the lazy one, secretly the crazy one. They say don't come to school tomorrow, you gotta listen. Indonesia, the friendly one. North Korea is the bully. Let's see when North Korea starts bullying the rebel. That's gonna be an interesting fight. The true bully, China. The Millhouse, friend of the bully, is Cambodia. Only goes to school to ask for... Oh, okay, Myanmar, alright. Brunei is the rich one, the joker, and sometimes the lazy one. We have... Wait, is that a sombrero that the Philippines have? Finally, Laos, very shy. Nobody knows anything about them. And then that strange guy. Pretty sure he eats humans on his free time. I'm a little bit too afraid to ask Papua New Guinea, though. I feel like Singapore should be the smart / rich one. Also, a lot of these students don't really like Japan for their past. They might seem like an otaku now, but literally in the 2nd grade, they beat the crap out of everyone in like horrifying ways. And now here they are in the 4th grade saying, what are you talking about? I never did any of that stuff. Oh, but trust me, all the pupils remember. And I feel like it was just recently that South Korea became the popular one. Now they're a little bit too cool for school. The teacher probably needs to do some assigned seatings because having these 3 together is probably a recipe for disaster. Put China in the corner and then just put this strange one right here. Something tells me Philippines are literally cool with everybody. They're out there just making everyone laugh. Okay, I know I always say this, but I want to see this anime. Like, just give me My Hero Academia with Asian country balls. That's it. It's $1 million idea right there. There's gonna be so many people that are like, who made this? POV, you're entering Nebraska. And you pretty much just can't escape after this. To get off these roads and blast through this fence, you're gonna be trapped in the cornfields forever. It's like the Shadow Realm. I mean, you could leave Nebraska, but Nebraska will never leave you. You see this place, says Joe Biden, called California. We're gonna nuke it, Jack. As a Californian myself, please, please, take us out of our misery. Maybe he's just saving it for his last thing he does. And big thanks to the patrons. I am the kidnapper. I oofed Drew since no one paid his ransom. This channel's now run by AI. Australia is real. I'm not Argentinian. $20 is a lot. Asher, 200, Chester, Tiny, Carmel, A Nargin, Traven, John Denver, Luxembourg, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, Twickenhamster,